Welcome to the part 2 of this story. Let's get right into it. My daughter, can you come home this weekend? Mrs. Mary had texted with trembling fingers. Mummy, I'm busy. Another time, Nike replied. Time, however, waits for no one. 2 weeks later, Mrs. Mary's shop was closed. Her phone switched off. She had not been feeling well for almost 2 weeks, but she said nothing. She didn't want to bother anyone. One evening, she called her close friend, Auntie Remy. Please come early tomorrow morning, she said weakly. The next morning, Remy arrived just before sunrise. Her heart beat fast, sensing something was wrong. She found Mary lying still in her bed, her face pale, her breath shallow. She rushed her to their family hospital. After some checkup, the doctors only shook their heads. Stage 4, they said, is too late. She was ill, dying. Cancer had planted itself inside her quietly, just like sorrow sometimes does. She didn't tell her husband. She didn't tell her friend Remy. She didn't tell Nike, her daughter. Instead, she focused on building something she and her husband once dreamed of, a restaurant and bakery where the scent of bread would meet the laughter of guests, a family legacy. Their retirement plan, as Mary told her friend, she found land on the outskirts, met a humble engineer, and paid in cash, little by little, month after month, she said, smiling. Remy stood frozen with tears in her eyes. She had no idea Mary was even sick. She tried calling Femi, Mary's husband, but he didn't answer. For 2 weeks, Mary stayed in the hospital. No husband, no daughter, just Remy, by her side, taking care of her. 2 weeks later, at Chef Femi's office, Miss Jennifer, the same woman who always bought from Mary's shop and who had once helped Mrs. Mary to get Femi his job, walked in. How is your wife? I hope she's all right, she asked kindly. She's fine, Femi replied, distracted. Miss Jennifer smiled. Forgive me, but I noticed her shop has been locked for weeks now. Femi froze. His wife never locked her shop, ever. After Miss Jennifer left, he called Nike. When last did you hear from your mother? It's been about 3 weeks, Nike replied. Why? Her shop's been locked for 2 weeks now, he said, his voice shaking. Nike gasped. What? I'm coming home right now. I'm going home too, her father said. They arrived at home almost at the same time. The house was empty, silent. Guilt swallowed them like Lagos floodwater. They searched everywhere. No sign of Mrs. Mary. As they discussed going to the police, the front door opened. Remy stood there, her eyes full of fire and pain. Where have you two been? She asked. Her anger melted into sadness. She's at the hospital. I come to pick some things for her, she said. They rushed to the hospital. They entered the hospital room together, but it was too late. Mrs. Mary's body lay still, covered in a white cloth. Femi and Nike screamed in pain, crying loudly, begging God for one more chance. On the small table beside her bed lay a worn-out brown envelope. Inside, the deed to a new building, photos of a restaurant and bakery under construction, a handwritten letter titled, For Both of You. I was building this for us. I didn't need much. I just wanted to complete our family dream, the one we used to talk about in the early days of love. A restaurant and a bread shop we would run together in old age, walls filled with laughter. I gave you love. I didn't always say it, but I showed it every day. Femi read the letter aloud, his voice cracking. Tears soaked the paper. 2 days later, back at home, Nike sobbed into her mother's photo, asking why she hadn't picked her calls, replied to her texts, or just gone home when her mother had begged. Her heart now knew the weight of missed chances. Meanwhile, Femi ended things with the woman who had become a distraction, whispering to himself, I was married to a queen, and I didn't even see it. 1 week later, they visited the building site. A beautiful yellow-painted restaurant stood tall. Beside it, a bakery unfinished but full of promise. The smell of fresh paint lingered like her presence. Nike wept bitterly. Femi sat quietly on a wooden bench, holding his daughter close. His shoulders shook with every silent sob as he looks around. Cherish the one who builds in silence, for their love is louder than words. The end. Moral of the story? In the quiet hands of love, greatness is built. Never wait too long to say, I'm coming home. Never forget the silent builders in your life. Their love speaks in sacrifice, not in sound. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more African folktales so you don't miss any stories.